Welcome back to our story. Chambers has grown up as Tom Driscoll, but he is not a likable young man.
Poor Tom Driscoll, poor Tom Driscoll, poor Tom Driscoll, so rich and yet so poor. Raised by faithful Roxy, who petted and adored him, he only got abuse and scorn to pay her for her care. Poor Tom Driscoll, poor Tom Driscoll, poor Tom Driscoll, so rich and yet so poor. He sees something he wants it, so Roxy runs to fetch it. Then he doesn't want it, he always gets his way. He should have had a beating at the source of all his seating. Instead he was indulgent, was allowed to have his way. Of friends he hasn't many, in fact I don't think any. A spoiled, fractious, selfish child, so rich and yet so poor. And what about poor Chambers, faithful servant Chambers, who was fed on gruel and clabber, and grew up tall and strong? Chambers fought Tom's battles, endured Tom's rage and beatings. Forbidden to retaliate, he only can endure. Should have had a beating for the source of all his seating. Instead he was indulgent, was allowed to have his way. Poor Tom Driscoll, poor Tom Driscoll, poor Tom Driscoll, so rich and yet so poor. They've sent him off to college to try and gain some knowledge, but we are most glad that he is out of the way. Tom Driscoll, poor Tom Driscoll, poor Tom Driscoll, so rich and yet so poor.
So Tom grew up sickly and resentful of Chambers, partly out of native viciousness and partly because he hated Chambers for his superiorities, his physique and pluck, and for his manifold clevernesses. Chambers carried Tom's skates to the river and strapped them on young Tom whenever Tom would say. He trotted always after at the ready, but never got the chance to skate or play. Tom got all the petting and goodies. Chambers got the remnants and the scraps. Hard living made Chambers tall and strong, and he had dreams of something else.
I can hear freedom calling, a song of the trees floating soft on the breeze. I can hear freedom calling, just beyond the horizon. Just wait and you'll see. This feeling is growing and somehow it clings to me, whispering softly of something to be. Something is out there and somehow it sings to me. Just beyond the horizon, just wait and you'll see.
Meanwhile, Tom, who had been sent away to college, returned. But the dull country town was tiresome to him, and he made more and more frequent trips to St. Louis and found companions who were more to his taste.
Ramblin' and gamblin', the only life for me. Gambling on the river on the way to St. Louis. I know the many players, I know their many layers, I know the folders and stayers. Ah, rambling and gambling, the only life for me. Matching my skill with a gentleman on the way to St. Louis. I know all of their faces, I know them in their places, I know when they're holding aces. Ah, rambling and gambling, the only life for me. Gambling on the river on the way to St. Louis. I can't lose when I'm drinking, at least that's what I'm thinking. I see the gentleman winking. Ah, rambling and gambling, the only life for me.
However, truth to tell, Tom was a terrible gambler. What about poor Roxy? For all her common sense, Roxy was a positive, doting fool of a mother. She loved Tom with an all-consuming passion, but because of the fiction she had created, her son was now her master, and she was merely his chattel, his convenience, his dog, his cringing, helpless slave. Tom had long ago taught her place, and she lived in fear of his capricious temper and vicious nature. He hit me, and I wasn't doing nothing wrong, right in front of folks. I was setting his dinner in front of him, and I was trying to be extra careful when he yelled at me to hurry up, and I got so rattled that I spilled some of the soup on the table, and he gets up and yells at me and calls me a stupid wench and hits me full in the face. It's just not right.
It isn't right, I've done so much for him. The Lord, he knows all that I've done for him. It isn't fair, I've done the best I can. Why does he treat me so? So I don't know why he is mean to me, why he says those hurtful things to me. You'd think at least he'd show civility. Why does he treat me so? But there are sometimes moments when he's good to me, moments when he is almost kind. The boy that was a slave sits in the master's place, child of my blood, that little boy of mine. It'd serve him right if I were to tell on him. I'd tell the world what I knew of him. He wouldn't be so high and mighty then. Why does he treat me so? Would they believe what I can relate? I have no proof, and it may be too late, that I gave birth to that ungrateful snake. Why does he treat me so? But there are sometimes moments when he's good to me, moments when he is almost kind. The boy that was a slave sits in the master's place, child of my blood, that little boy of mine.
And so Roxy can now show the truth of the old saying about the danger of pretending to be something, because one day you wake up and find out that's who you are. The year 1845 saw two passings: Colonel Cecil Burleigh Essex and Percy Driscoll. On his deathbed, Percy Driscoll set Roxy free and delivered his idolized, ostensible son, Sal, into the keeping of the judge and his wife. Those childless people were glad to get him. Childless people are not difficult to please. Judge Driscoll had gone privately to his brother a month before that and had bought Chambers. He had heard that Tom was trying to persuade his father to sell Chambers down the river and wanted to prevent the scandal. Public sentiment did not approve of treating a family servant badly, for light cause or for no cause. Percy Driscoll had worn himself out trying to save his great speculation, and at last had died without succeeding. He was hardly in his grave before the boom collapsed, and left his hitherto envied young devil of an heir a pauper. But because his uncle told him that he would be his uncle's heir, Tom was comforted, but soon went back to his gambling ways. Roxy, though now free, had no home, and resolved to become a chambermaid on a steamboat. One day, the quiet of Dawson's Landing was enlivened by a letter received by the widow Cooper and her daughter Rowena about the room they had advertised to rent.
Oh, mother dear, just look right here. It seems we have a letter about that room we want to rent. It could not get much better. Two brothers want to rent from us, arriving in the hour. On the packet from St. Louis must clean our house and scour. So elegant their penmanship, their names are so melodious. Italian brothers Capello will soon be here to rent from us. Won't the other girls be jealous? Won't they wish that they were me, here within our little home, like entertaining royalty? Don't their manners seem so polished? Don't they write so elegantly? Won't the other girls be jealous? Filled with envy they look at me. Rowena, you're a silly girl. There's so much that we have to do. Clean the linen, do the baking, polish silver, clean the flue. I have no time to stand around and moon like some befuddled calf. We have prospective paying boarders, we're not ready, not by half. Mama here in Dawson lends such elegance has not been seen. Twins named Luigi and Angelo, it sounds so grand, it's like a dream. My brother and I have traveled the world and have come to this place. My brother and I have written to you to find some living space. Your notice of the room we rent, perchance up in St. Louis. We're hoping you will rent to us, the house will quite well suit us. We travel the wide world together, together no matter the weather. Footloose and free, off on a spree, singing in sweet harmony. My brother and I are Italian by birth, our family name is Capello, a noble name of tragic fate, as sad a tale as Othello. Rootless we wander the earth, we've seen the homes of kings, we've seen the wonders of the world, we've seen amazing things. We travel the wide world together, together no matter the weather. Footloose and free, off on a spree, singing in sweet harmony.
Later that night, Rowena comes out onto the porch.
I know that love is waiting, somehow I know that love will find me. I know that love is waiting just beyond the horizon. Just wait and you'll see. The feeling is growing and somehow it clings to me, whispering softly of something to be. Something is out there and somehow it sings to me. Just beyond the horizon, just wait and you'll see.
Needless to say, the brothers were welcomed by Dawson Landing Society and were celebrated wherever they went. There was a torchlight parade accompanied by the mayor and the town council. The brothers were properly appreciative of all the wonders of the town, including the volunteer fire company and the school.
Isn't this a lovely prospect? Isn't this a lovely day? Up to date in every aspect, up to date in every way. Welcome, 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 welcome you. Here you see our library, there you see the courthouse square. There you have the general store and Foster's Mill is over there. Leading citizens assemble, bid you welcome to our town. A finer place for habitation on God's green earth cannot be found. You can keep your Cincinnati, you can keep your New Orleans. We're content with Dawson Landing, small town life and all that means. Welcome, 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 welcome you.
Meanwhile, young Tom continued his gambling ways, but quite frankly, he was not a very good gambler. And in order to make up his losses, he began to steal from his neighbors.
Rambling and gambling with the gentleman of the road, trying to hold my liquor, trying to hold my load. I must make up my losses, the judge can never know. I also know my neighborhood, a raiding I will go.
Meanwhile, Roxy returned to Dawson Landing. Her high spirits had made her a favorite and success as a chambermaid in the St. Louis Packet, until the bank where she had saved all her money went bankrupt, and she was penniless.
I was born a slave in the Driscoll home, never very far to think I'd roam. Whilst Percy died, they said to me, Roxy, you now are free. I got my papers from the county clerk and looked around to find some work. Got hired on the Jolly Turk, chambermaiding on a steamboat. From Cairo down to New Orleans, such a world of kings and queens. Such wonderful sights, such wonderful scenes, sailing on the Mississippi. For the next 8 years I worked away, the officers were fond of my spirited ways. Every month I would save my pay, safe and sound in the bank. Month by month I stashed it away, a little bit of money for a rainy day, a little bit of solace come what may, when I get old and creaky. Then I find that the bank went bust, all my dreams are empty dust, all that gold turned into rust, my hopes been bust to flinders. Rheumatism got me down, aches and pains like a thorny crown. Maybe I'll jump in the river and drown. That'll be the end of Roxy. But then I think of a better way. I'll go to Tom and to him say that I am in a terrible way. He'll help me out a little. How I yearn to see his face. It's been too long since I saw this place. Tom will help me out from my disgrace. I know that he'll be kind to Roxy.
And so Roxy goes to see Tom, but the visit does not go well. Tom is over his head with debts from gambling, and is barely civil to Roxy. Why, just look at you, I declare, you're all grown up and handsome.
Cut it short. What do you want?
You hear that? Just the same old Mars Tom, always so gay and funning with your old poor mammy. Why, I declare...
Cut it short, I tell you. Get along. What do you want?
Oh, Mars Tom, your poor old mammy is such hard luck these days, and she kind of crippled in the arms and can't work, and if you could just help out and give your poor old mammy $1. $1? Give you $1? Is that why you're here? Get out of here. Be quick about it. Can't you help me out just a little?
No.
Get out of here and be quick.
I nursed you when you were a baby. I took care of you as a child. I soothed your many scrapes and hurts. I was good to you and mild.
Now I'm alone in this wide world. I'm old and I have little time before the good Lord calls me home to live in his heaven sublime. I came to you when I needed help. I came and you turned me down. You called me names and you pushed me away. You kicked me to the ground. You had your chance, you said the word. You tromped it in the dirt. The next time that you get a chance, you'll beg and it's gonna hurt. The next time you'll be on your knees, you'll beg, you'll plead, and you'll cry. You're laughing now, but you won't laugh then. Tonight I'll tell you why. The haunted house at the edge of town. Meet me there tonight. Meet me there at the midnight hour. I'll teach you to do right. I know some things of your life and birth which I'm prepared to tell. And if you do not meet me there, your life will be living hell. What can she know about me? What can she know of my life? Did she find out about all my debts? The money I owe from my gambling.
Now, Roxy, let's be reasonable. Here's $1. Now tell me what you know.
Why don't you speak? Just tell me now. Let's have an end to this foolishness. What do you know? What will you tell? Why do you stand there and look at me? To you it may be foolishness. To you it may be fun. But if you don't do what I say, you'll be sorry, for I'm done. I came to you when I needed help. I came and you near spit on me. After all the things I've done for you, you should be on your knees. You think you can buy me off so cheap with your raggedy dollar bill? Your uncle'll give me more than that. You wait if you don't think he will. The haunted house at the edge of town. Meet me there tonight. Meet me there at the midnight hour. I'll teach you to do right. I'll teach you to do right. So that night, Tom goes to the haunted house. When Tom arrives at the haunted house, Roxy tells him that she is actually his mother. You are my child, my little one. Indeed, you truly are my son. I switched you in the cradle, gave you the Driscoll name. Your name's Ellen Chambers, that's all that you can claim. You're up in the finest seat, and always had enough to eat. I don't believe it, it can't be true. What evil words I hear from you. What kind of ignorance do you really take me for? You've lost your mind, you make yourself, you better give up this bit. All these moonshine, I don't believe it's true. Although you say you don't believe, your heart is there upon your sleeve. I notice what you're thinking, I know you through and through. Your names are Lady Chambers, and I tell you now it's true. The slave you treat with such disdain gave to your life and the Driscoll name. I tell you that it's true. Birth I gave to you. No matter what you do, your heritage comes through. Now that you must play a part, I'll tell you what to do. I give you a new start. I see what's in your heart. Roxy knows about Tom's gambling debts and tells Tom to sell her and use the money to settle the debts. But tells him to sell her somewhere where life is not too hard. Instead, Tom sells her down the river.
My child, my only son, what has he done? How could he do this thing to the one who gave him birth? I set him on his way. Is this by that ungrateful cur. I've got them all sold down the river blues. I got them old sold down the river blues. He thinks he is my master, but he really is my son. I got them old sold down the river blues. Once more is poor Roxy in bondage. Once more is poor Roxy a slave. Alas, it all happened for the sake of my son. My life I would give his to save. It's like that when someone's a mother. For a child we will give up our life. But once more he has chopped and abused me, and the pain of it cuts like a knife. Does he feel any pity for Roxy, who he sold down the river for cash? Does he feel any shred of compassion for the feel of the whip and the lash? I'll escape and I'll somehow get vengeance. I will somehow see justice is done. I'll escape and will once more taste freedom. I'll escape and once more see my son. I'll escape and once more see my son.
Because of the revelation about his true parentage, Tom is profoundly changed.
I used to walk with a swagger, I once could carry it off. Now I talk with a stammer, my voice is weak and soft. I meet with men who are equals, comrades and cronies and such. But now I'm a different person, I shrink from a casual touch. I feel like it's burned on my forehead that Tom is really a slave. I feel that all men know my secret, I cower when I must be brave. My brazenness, bully, and bluster that served me so well in the past have vanished in glimmers of moonshine, a slave, a pariah, outcast. My gambling debts have caught me, I must go raiding again. I cannot be discovered, it's back to the lion's den.
So Tom went raiding and broke into the house of Rowena, and while the twins entertained their host downstairs, snuck into their room and stole a jeweled knife from Luigi's suitcase. Tom leaves the house, goes home, but returns angry and drunk. He insults Angelo, who throws him out into the street. Tom then sues Angelo and wins a judgment in court. Judge Driscoll, hearing that Tom has gone to court instead of challenging Angelo to a duel, is ashamed and challenges Angelo himself. The duel is set for tomorrow morning, and the judge waits for dawn.
Evening shadows gather round, the quiet time begins. The sleeping house around me lies with quiet all within. To think that any kin of mine would bear a coward's shame, that Tom would choose a court of law is unworthy of his name. A field of honor in the mist, together we will go, but only one will then return, my candles burning low. A slur upon the family, a slur upon the name, demands atonement in the blood, wipe away the shame. As I await my coming fate, God knows how it will go. The Driscoll name I will defend, the candles burning low. For honor, the things we do for honor.
What's that noise? Tom, looking for things to steal, comes into the room, struggles with the judge, and plunges the dagger into his heart. Runs away, leaving the bloody knife.